Welcome to my very first Certified Seller Advocate training. It's live. I'm John McConnin. I'm a realtor and attorney in California. This is very real for California, but most of what I'm saying today could apply to realtors in other states because we're talking about national class action suits, the DOJ, and NAR rules, and probably the rules of the vast majority of MLSs in the country. Let me just say, if you're watching this, at the end of it, if you agree to follow our two-step listing process and you pay the certification fee that you're seeing, which is today, it's $47, you'll be a certified seller's advocate, and I will provide you the forms that I've created for my own brokerage that I'm using to help my sellers mitigate against these risks of agreeing to buyer agent compensation. Whether broadcast or not, DOJ has now showed us there's massive risks. I've hinted at it before. I've talked about it in videos. The DOJ just made it clear. I don't see, in fact, it could be argued broadcasting buyer agent compensation is now more legal than waiting passively and agreeing to it because of you could argue, the criminal conspiracy being created by NAR in that they're requiring their agents to reduce to an exact amount of money they're going to get paid before they show a property, and the fact that the MLSs are requiring that agreement to be in place before using the MLS really to set up showings. Like this is, if the DOJ were to say that this is a this is an antitrust concern, this is steering, if the DOJ said it and said, we think that this is illegal or immoral or unethical, then how do you sell a property for a seller if you don't follow the process I'm talking about today? I don't know how you could do it. And, I sort of set us up for that because let me just talk about the fundamentals. Here, in this case, let me just show it to you. This was, it's November 17th. This is my first live one. It's set up for the course, the whole program that's live on January 1st. 5 days before the Burnett case, that was the big class action suit, were settled, the DOJ filed this. And they're sort of having their cake and eating it too. And in the first part of this, the DOJ said, we know that this class action settlement does not prevent the broadcast of buyer agent compensation. They're like, it's true. And I've got a video in my membership area, we'll go back to it, right here, where the NAR attorney says it's legal. I also explain that California law doesn't seem to care about whether the agent's calling themselves a listing agent or a buyer agent. They're just saying it is the seller's right to offer to an agent 2 or 3% if the agent brings a buyer and they sell the property. So if broadcasting buyer agent compensation, when done properly, were deemed illegal, then I'm not sure how even a listing agent would be legal. I'm not sure how someone with a real estate license can buy or sell homes if you can't agree to the price for bringing a buyer to the property ahead of time, right? It would take serious gymnastics, and I don't think it's going to happen. So broadcasting buyer agent compensation is done. If done legally, is probably safer than sitting up passively and letting the interaction of these buyer broker agreements that NAR is forcing on people and the MLS forcing this on buyers before they see a home, and therefore the buyer maybe not even being able to see the properties that aren't offering buyer agent compensation. Because we know the realtors are taking these agreements and saying, now, I'm going to get paid $30,000 if I help you buy a home. Do you want to pay me that out of your own pocket? No. Do you want me to have the seller pay for it? Yes. What if the seller is not offering $30,000? Do you want to come out of pocket for the difference? No. Okay, then you agree you don't want me to show you properties where they're not offering $30,000. So then the buyers are saying yes, and now the buyer's agents are not steering any of their clients to those properties, so they are steering them away and towards the properties where buyer agent compensation being offered. Now, what if NAR were to say that that is unethical, or it could be said to be a violation of antitrust rules? Would that be criminal? Would it be unethical? Would it be immoral? Well, in this very case, in this letter, 5 days before the end of the Burnett case, they wrote this. Let me click on it. No, here it is. Given that the United States takes no position, so basically I cut and paste out of here and put it here. Given that the United States takes no position on whether the proposed settlement satisfies Rule 23E apart from one concern. The proposed settlement includes a provision requiring buyers and their brokers enter written agreement before touring any home. This provision raises independent concerns under antitrust laws, which could be addressed in multiple ways. The court could eliminate the provision, or just claim that the settlement creates any immunity or defense under the antitrust laws. Alternatively, the court could clarify that approval of the settlement affords no immunity. In other words, thus the concerns remain that their broker agreement rule may limit how brokers compete. So that's the antitrust. They're limiting how brokers compete. And there's no record available in the current posture addressing this concern. It's therefore important that any settlement not purport to preclude antitrust scrutiny, as discussed above. In other words, the causes of action are still there for plaintiffs' lawyers and the DOJ to prosecute. And one of the major deals here is steering. Steering is an antitrust situation, and there's no question that steering is going on. So, what we know from this is that a real estate broker and their agents being involved in a transaction where buyer agent compensation is being paid, and it was partly having to be enforced. It was enforced by the MLS and NAR's agreements that any NAR realtor has to pre-negotiate the price they're getting paid ahead of time before they see a home. You're creating, like, it's much, much safer to either not agree to buyer agent compensation, like that's what a realtor could do. I can't advise you to offer buyer agent compensation because it could be illegal or unethical, and that could lead to class action lawsuits that a seller could be included in, or at the very least, lawsuits after the fact if it's a disgruntled buyer. If the buyer's not happy about the disclosures, if their price went down, if there are other things they're unhappy, or they're just kind of crooked and want to extract money. By following this process, the NAR process, MLS enforced, you could be walking into a setup every time your seller sells a home. It's nuts. And therefore, an agent could say, I can't advise you to offer buyer agent compensation. If you want to do that, talk to an attorney. Or they could be proactive about it and say, well, I've already talked to an attorney. I'm already on their team. And if you go to the website, see the risks, and follow these forms and the process, we can eliminate or mitigate many of these risks. So I'll tell you about the process, and then I'll show you that we have the forms that will be available for you. The first step is the two-step listing process. I advise homeowners and sellers to not discuss the level of buyer agent compensation that they will agree to or offer prior to the listing being on the MLS. So that listing discussion is all about the seller and buyer negotiating how much the seller will get paid for helping them sell the home. And then you can talk in hypotheticals, in generals, about what's going on in the market right now. Is it strong? Is it not? Are you pricing the home at fair market value where it's likely to sell, or a little bit above, or is the property improved and you're wanting to get more? And then talk about how sometimes it might be important to incentivize buyer's agents to bring their best buyers to the property. But be very clear, I'm going to leave that number up to you until after we get this on the MLS for technical reasons. I don't want it to seem like we were price fixing before we got your property on the MLS. You have every right to go to zero, and then you can offer more if you do it properly, and you can help determine that in part, maybe based on the response of us putting the property on the market, or how many people show up at your open house. Or if you're in a hurry, you could go talk to an attorney, and you could be advised of the risks, and you can help mitigate them against them. Now, fortunately, I already have an attorney on my team, and this is either going to cost you, could be $47 or $0, depending on the program you opt into. That's the first step. Listing one. Don't discuss levels of buyer agent compensation. After it's listed, then you discuss with the seller why they may or may not want to offer buyer agent compensation. But if they do, this would be my spot. If you think that you're going to agree to buyer agent compensation upon request, you might as well take advantage of it and do it the right way. You might as well put it on yard signs if they have a yard sign. You might as well email it to agents and say, we're offering buyer agent compensation. You might as well go to the broker caravans and say, we've got a great home here. Here's all the reasons why your people might be interested in. If you come see it, if you produce an offer in the next 30 days and it closes, we'll pay you X. We are broadcasting buyer agent compensation because it's legal according to, and you can cite your sources, the NAR attorney and the Burnett settlement. You can have this PDF with you if they have if there's a concern. There's multiple other ways. I really like the idea of broadcasting the same way you would an open house to get people to go there. For a few bucks, you can go up on Facebook and have Facebook target a pool of buyers in the area right then. You can say, hey, open house this weekend. You can put the same stuff. You can have big open houses. I don't need to tell people how to sell homes in this, but we will discuss all the avenues in our client area, in our membership area. Now, how are you going to do that? If you want to offer buyer agent compensation, this is what I advise, Mr. Seller. You get these forms, and you don't have to follow my process. You're going to have the forms if you sign up for $47. But what I advise everybody to say is that upon this, your decision to offer buyer agent compensation, I think you should watch a 5-minute video, or maybe it's 10. I'll try to get it to 5 at CertifiedSellerAdvocate.com, and then you'll download the forms and bring them back to me. And the first form is going to be you authorizing me to discuss or market buyer agent compensation. And that's 2 steps. One is, if you're going to agree to it, yes, we can discuss it. If you want to take advantage of the fact that you're going to do it, then we should broadcast it and try to create multiple offer situations rather than being more passive. So what separates us from other realtors is we know how to broadcast buyer agent compensation effectively and legally. Now, 2, when we do get offers, we're going to have the buyer sign 3. It's overkill. We could combine them all to 1 for some people. Maybe we'll do that if there's no crossword. But I'd rather have 3 agreements being litigated than 1. My father, who was a litigator, national litigation manager for an international oil company, said that in all his trials, many, many judges try to be fair. They don't like to just have clean winners. So when motions come up, he always liked to have 1 motion he really wanted to win on, and 1 that was sort of the throwaway motion so the judge can seem fair. So I've always done that in my practice. And so we will have our major agreement, which is the agreement in which the buyer is requesting buyer agent compensation and agrees to, in their own handwriting, to understand that they could be seeking a price reduction. Instead, they're asking the seller to have some of the money that the buyer is paying go to the buyer's agent, and this is the exact amount, and we put it in writing. And I like it more to be a flat fee for other reasons, including not compromising the fiduciary duties of the buyer agent. So even if you're agreeing to a 2 or 3%, reduce it to a flat fee. In case more negotiations happen, we don't want to incentivize the buyer's agent to have their client pay more. We want the client to agree to do that. So let's say it's $20,000. So we're telling the buyer to write in $19,000 for their agent and $1,000 for their attorney, which will be paid upon close at the HUD. Okay, so it's no extra money out of the seller's pocket. In fact, it turns into multiple offers, we rank these offers, and that's the transparency the DOJ was talking about, but we'll talk about in the training. I have a hybrid of the 7-day home selling method and a method I learned many, many years ago when I was friends with the guy who founded favoriteagent.com. He asked me some legal stuff, and we went sailing and boating and dinner, and he had the data showing that by offering more than customary to buyer's agents, his clients were netting more because he sold a lot of homes in subdivisions. And I thought his process was brilliant. And I've in the training, I'll take his process and hybrid it with the 7-day home sale method. And it stacks and ranks and the DOJ would have to love it. So that's in the training. But that's an aside. So now we've got that one form for the buyer. The second form is we're going to have the buyer waive the right to be in class action suits. And the third, waive individual lawsuits based on buyer agent compensation. Because I fear, because I get calls all the time from buyers who want to get out of contracts or who already closed and are unhappy. Things weren't disclosed. They didn't realize. I can't go. I don't want to go into specifics. One, the buyer, if they saw this, would know exactly what I'm talking about, even because it's a super fun and interesting story. But it was a problem for the buyer. So I don't want to go into that. But we get calls all the time, but we're like, well, I don't like your odds of winning, so I'd have to charge you by the hour. Most people don't want to pay by the hour. But in this case, if buyer agent compensation was being offered, I think it's almost a no-brainer in some circumstances for the buyer's attorney to say, I'll take a shot at it. I'll go right to the insurance, and if there's no insurance, I'll shake him down for some money. I mean, because the DOJ is saying you're not supposed to be charging people and making them agree to pay you. It's anti-competitive before they even see the property. I mean, it's now a no-brainer. So we want them to waive their rights. They're saying, I want you to pay my agent. I waive my right to sue you on this behalf. So there's 3 forms the buyer is going to go through, and then the 4th, which I've already alluded to, is that there's going to be an attorney on their team. And we'll set it up so the buyer acknowledges that the attorneys explain how it used to work, where the agent money's compensation is coming from, and that their client, they may have been steered away from other properties or were even interested, that could have been very interesting, maybe more suitable for the buyer. I don't think I'm more suitable. I think I went to ChatGPT and got a synonym for that. So those are the forms. Now, let me say one more thing. So all of that is right now, if you sign up today for $47, and right now it's life, but that's going to be changed on January 1st. And I'm going to have a new live video. Right now what happens is you'll get the forms now, and if you never want to work with me again, you got the forms for $47, and you understand the process. If you'd like to be a certified seller advocate, we're going to have you go to the Certified Seller Advocate website and agree you're going to follow the 2-step listing process, which is simply you're not going to pre-negotiate buyer agent compensation. And then you could send your seller to the form, and I'll talk to you about this. It's either going to be $47 or $27 to watch a short video from me. I'm really going to struggle to keep it under 7 minutes. And then they'll get the forms, and they'll give the forms to you. Like, it's much more elegant for you to say, before we agreed to a price, I had him watch a video from John. John discussed the risks and how to mitigate against them. And the seller came back and said, I want to offer 3%, or I want you to wait and respond to buyers, be more passive and respond to buyers. But it was the seller's decision after learning the risks and how we were going to mitigate them. And they came to me, and they said I was authorized to talk about it, I was authorized to broadcast. To me, that's very elegant. It does a lot of things for both parties in terms of insulating themselves from some of these DOJ risks. Now, the next step is they have those forms. And finally, I'll explain why it may not cost them any money if they follow and they have multiple offers. And if there's only one offer, well, then they can decide. And then finally, it won't cost them any more money to put a buyer attorney on the buyer's team, and how that could really insulate them from a lot of these DOJ things. Like, I can't imagine the DOJ saying, oh, yeah, we don't want our buyers to be well informed about the process by a buyer's attorney and about steering by a buyer's attorney. And we don't want them to know, because of these forms, that they could have seen these other properties and paid for it out of their own pocket. They understand that could be steering. Like, we want all of that in there. Now, if you want your client to go to Certified Seller Advocate, that's the seller, then we'll charge them money. Now, let's say you're like, John, I don't want to bother my clients for $47 anytime. Can I just pay more as a Certified Seller Advocate and have my clients go and to the website and not have to pay money? Yes, you can do that. And that's what it's part of. My business uses Go High Level software. I've white labeled it. I've taken a lot of my processes and some of the other best ones. I paid for and grafted in other templates and other things into it to make it a really good, it's called location, a really good location inside Go High Level for realtors. There's a list. Here, I'll just go through it. You got the Certified Seller Advocate training. We're going to show you how to separate your other realtors aren't going to be able to do this, and talk about why broadcasting buyer agent compensation might be better. We're going to have the forms for your sellers, the forms for the buyers. If you remember, your clients aren't going to have to pay money when they go to the website. We're going to have a 2-step listing process, which we've discussed. Now, here's one. The NAR attorney has said that the agreement says you can't have a discussion about buyer agent compensation on a website with MLS data. And I think they've also said, but you could have it on your own I say, why not just have a separate lead capture site for buyers and sellers? So they come to your site for buyers, you have the AI interact with them, and the AI points them to the right web page of wherever you have your MLS site. Or if not, there's other ways to have a list of homes. So the list of homes marketing on Facebook, list of homes marketing on YouTube can be very valuable because frequently 20 to 25% of the people who have to sell homes are sellers, or buy homes are sellers. So you get sometimes like a double. You get a buyer lead and a potential home seller 20, 25% of the time. So we will have the AI help you capture buyer leads. We'll have AI help you capture seller leads. This will be optional, and if you see this before December, you can use it for free till the end of December. But then you have a choice. You can pay for unlimited, which right now is scheduled to be about $150 for unlimited AI. The AI will be your AI employee answering the phones. Will be lead capture. Will help you create unlimited websites, forms, automations, web pages, funnels, blog posts, and so you could use it for a few months unlimited, and then just pay as you go. But you can opt into that. This AI is incredible. I'm going to do lots of videos on that. Maybe you've seen the one I've made so far. Now, here's another thing. I can't guarantee this sticks around. UpX costs me money. I really want 10, 15 people to work with me so that I'm providing this service with no out-of-pocket costs. Right now, it's included in the price, in the monthly price. If I don't have, I guess it'd be about 10 people. It doesn't make sense for me, and then it would be an optional thing. But if we can get 10 people to sign up now, I won't. You get UpX for free. UpX is unbelievable. They've reduced local Facebook marketing, which is what most realtors are doing, to like 3 clicks. We've got templates in there. I will be providing more of my own templates. Some of the things I've been doing, we're going to turn it over like a seller's guide or the buyer's guide or the buyer's list. Well, the buyer's list is already in there. But the templates for Facebook and YouTube are in there. So it's like just 3 buttons. And you can modify them if you'd like. But if you really want to get started and see how things work, boom. You can start putting $10 a day towards Facebook while you're also doing the content marketing. We're going to come up with content marketing funnels. It's like we're going to show you how to dominate a topic. Let's say golf course homes or luxury properties or whatever you specialize in, and you create a funnel, a know, like, and trust funnel, a la Pro Murphy, and you have them watch one, and they watch it, they consume it, then the next day they'll get an email about another. And this also works really well with the new way the YouTube algorithm is working. They're trying to get more people involved. And so we'll have monthly campaigns coming out. Now, right now, when you sign up for the $47, you're going to get the forms. What you're also going to get to do is a 30-day trial to my Getting Clients Pro software with, for a few more days, the AI Unlimited Employee. So it's $47. You're going to get the software. Now, if you're signing up now, right now, because it's brand new, I've actually got people who are ready to onboard you. I would hope, unless we have a real flood, they can onboard you and help you set all this up. They go one-on-one with you and help you set all this up. So you can get, well, I don't know if they're setting up the AI employee. I'll help you with that. They may or may not have time for that. But we'll get all this set up. So you're getting onboarding, which usually costs, it will cost probably a lot of money in the future. You're getting all that. And the reason why it's $47 instead of just free is because I'm going to spend money on YouTube or Facebook, and I'm hoping that I can liquidate my costs. Like, if I make $47 back for each $47 I spent, I've got this virtuous cycle. So right now, I'm starting with $47. Next month, it may be $97 to sign up. And you might as well do it now because you'll get to play around with the AI Employee Unlimited for the rest of the year. Or get it working. Like, I've already got, you may have seen my video, I've got it where it responds to requests about buyer agent compensation. It specifically says the seller's offering. We can set up a showing. Let me get in touch with the seller. I'll get back to you. Oh, lead magnet. Let me send you a link. I mean, it's already working. It's in there. So you can experiment with it, but it works. It's incredible. So that's the offer today. It will change on January 1st. Thanks for coming to my first live. I know I've got to do more, follow the other ways. This was just my first. It'll get better, but I really think the offer won't get better. It will be more expensive in the future. So thanks. My name's John McConnin. The software is Getting Clients Pro. Right now, the link should take you to agents.gettingclientspro.com or form, like form.gettingclientspro.com, depending on where I put this video. Right now you might be seeing download the form for free, the seller form, and then you'll be on this page, or maybe you're going right to this page. And in the future, if you're not a realtor but you're interested in this, I got the AI where I explain everything. And then there's Getting Clients Pro. Wait, what? Getting Clients Pro. I'm sorry. So this is the website. That video is going to change. You can see all the stuff the software does. And somewhere around January 1st, we're going to have Certified Seller Advocate set up. Well, it kind of already is set up. I put time into it, but we'll set it up better. Thanks. My name's John McConnin, and I hope to see the value in the software. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.